where did you? Anything you
Two things just happened that signal very dark and violent times up next for the USA. Do you live in an American city? Close to one? Then perhaps you should know our cities will soon be burning to the ground. Here's why. Fire. Destruction. Total mayhem. So get ready for it. Cause violence looms. Dark times for a lost America. Some things happened this week, which did one hell of a job numbing me. Happenings this week foreshadow the violence. But what happened is too much to write in just one post. Let's keep it plain and simple with two seemingly unconnected things. People will shrug off what I am about to say as doom and gloom. I prefer to look at it like a wildfire giving birth to a forest. It may be destructive, but it's also necessary. What happened? First, we got word that banks in general, and especially JP Morgan, are quietly closing down branches in impoverished cities. Secondly, we learned that Family Dollar is closing nearly 400 stores across the USA. Big deal? Or no big deal? How do we connect those dots? Easy. Too easy. It's like this, there are about to be significantly less resources available to city dwellers. Less cash, less cheese puffs, less honey buns, less Kool-Aid, and less everything. Now, what happens when there are significantly less resources available? People become angry, desperate, and fight over what's left. The anger and desperation increasingly lead to acts of violence. It all starts out as simple, petty crimes committed in the name of survival. Like squeezing a package of bologna between your crotch at the grocery store. Anger and desperation then fester and grow as dwindling resources dwindle even more. Here's the thing about Family Dollar, many people buy food there using government food stamps. Here's the thing about banks, welfare queens accept quick cash in exchange for food stamp purchases. But now there will be even less options. For food, and for cash. Yikes. Recipe for disaster. Without options, there is anger. That anger will surely lead to violence. Grocery stores bum-rushed, ransacked, and then burned to the ground. Seriously. Check out Google's suggested searches. Well now, that doesn't look good. There is also one major, massive problem, the guns. The deep state and globalists haven't succeeded taking the guns from the people. When the riots begin, sure, there may be some rocks thrown through windows. Later on, however, people will get thirsty, and they'll start making cocktails. They won't be the kind that you drink, however, but the kind that destroy. What happens when the armed masses become even more angry? What happens when people become even more desperate? What happens when meals are frequently skipped? What happens when there's nothing left to lose? The unprepared will be totally devastated. And that is the vast majority of people. It may seem like some time away. But it's not far off in the distance. It's right around the corner. Change is in the air. You can smell it. Cities on fire. Burning. Down. Ugh. The gold to silver ratio hopes everybody responded to this week's cartel pounding of the silver price. If you wanted to buy an ounce of gold and pay for it with silver, you would need 85 ounces of silver. That is an extreme due to the market manipulation and gold and silver price suppression. When things get extreme, they can last for quite some time. But they don't stay extreme forever. And what is normal? How about 16? That's right. The cartel is having a hard time keeping gold down, though they fed enough paper gold contracts into the market to keep price below the 50-day moving average. Bastards. The cartel is also having a hard time keeping silver down. I don't think silver stays down for long, especially if price drops below $15 again like price briefly did just yesterday. Palladium is having a healthy pullback. Physical palladium is in short supply, and actual market forces are taking over. One day market forces and gold and silver will take over too. Only you must be positioned before that day. Being late means missing out. I don't want you to miss out. Platinum's beat down is pretty nasty looking. Platinum is down some 5% on the week. The inverse head and shoulders pattern in crude oil just wasn't meant to be, once the Fed's overt money printing orgy really begins in earnest. However, I'd be looking for the price of crude oil to really take off. I'm still thinking we get into the upper $70s by spring or summer. Remember, it's all part of the plan. Max Payne. That's the plan. Copper has pulled back this week. I'm still looking for a big move higher in the price of copper. The heartbeat of American index doesn't look so good right now. 2 months of stock market declines from here would carry us into summer. Just when gas prices are on the rise. See how that works? Hit Americans in their brokerage accounts and in their 401ks, and then hit them with higher gas prices. Because, you know, only 50% of Americans even own any stocks at all. And barely anybody has anything saved for retirement. But everybody pays for energy. And we'll all be paying more. Volatility looks like it is setting up for another spike. Since December 26, volatility has been artificially suppressed, but I still think the real volatility is ahead of us. I've been looking for a drop in interest rates. I'm looking for rates to plunge even lower as the stock market crashes. The dollar is about to catch everybody off guard. Most people see an uptrend since mid-January. But don't forget that most people are always wrong. Yesterday the dollar spiked on the news that Europeans are going to keep on printing money. That said, combine that dollar spike with the beating the cartel laid into gold and silver. Said differently, we have a pop in the dollar and a drop in gold and silver prices. In other words, we can all buy even more gold and silver with our dollars. Smart Americans have an amazing opportunity right now. The dollar is strong, and gold and silver are cheap. It's like a buy one, get one free doorbuster. Just as we're on the cusp of change, everything is about to reverse. Gold and silver prices surge. The dollar gets killed. It will happen fast. That is the plan. Most lose.